Here's President Obama. This is this morning, FBI headquarters, talking about the photo op with Air Force One and the Statue of Liberty. They had to update the photo file. They put, I know airlines do that. People manufacture airplanes and run airlines, get pictures of their product over scenic areas and so forth. But when the hell? You can't go buy a ticket on Air Force One. I mean, what's have they never heard of Photoshop? You know, you get a picture of Air Force One, you get a picture of the Statue of Liberty, and you Photoshop it. Total disregard for the people on the ground in New York. President Obama said
it was a mistake, as was stated. It was something we found out about along with all of you, and it will not happen again.
That's just miraculous. Just to me, he didn't know. He's the only one who can fly on this airplane. Nobody can put the wheels in motion to get Air Force One off the ground other than Barack Obama. If they're going to do a flight like this, he has to be told, because he has to also know he can't travel that day on that airplane. Now, if he's just going to take a jaunt, up to the Waldorf Astoria or something, get on a 757, whatever plane he gets on is Air Force One. But to get away, I didn't know. This will never happen again. I didn't know. If George W. Bush were president and this would happen, we wouldn't know the name of the schlub that they're dumping all over here, that they're claiming is responsible for this. This poor schlub had to go out there and apologize, fall on the sword. It gets even better. This is yesterday, Washington, a press conference. Chuck U. Schumer, unidentified reporter, says, what's the FAA's reason for not warning the public?
The FAA is sort of like a sphinx. They mess up everything and they don't tell you why. The last head of the FAA was a political appointee, a hack, who messed the place up to a fairly well. We're looking. There is not a new appointment, a new administrator yet, but we're looking for a much, much better one. This is up to the FAA, and I put the blame on the FAA, not the NYPD.
Oh, you put it on the Bush, is what he's doing, is blaming Bush. But he better coordinate this with the White House, because the White House is blaming somebody in their office. Let me Calderon. No, Caldera. This guy was involved. Even Peter principled. In other words, he's got no experience heading up the White House military office that he's heading up. But this guy did it. They arranged it. The White House did this. The FAA didn't do this. And the idea not to tell anybody about it is definitely Obama administration Secret Service. Look it. In one sense, I can understand it. You don't say Air Force One is going to be flying at 1,000 feet over Manhattan, because then you might lure people who get surface-to-air missiles or want to take a shot at it. But, 30 minutes before it happens, warn people. 15 minutes before, warn people that they didn't even think to do it. And now Chuck U. Schumer wants to dump on the FAA about this. Here's the mayor of New York City. He's furious, too. He's not as mad at these people as he is mad at the people who eat salt, but he's still mad.
I'm annoyed. Furious is a better word that I wasn't told. It did have the normal language of saying that this is sensitive information, should be distributed on a need-to-know basis, that they did not plan to have any publicity about it, which I think is ridiculous and just poor judgment. Why the Defense Department wanted to do a photo op right around the site of the World Trade Center catastrophe defies imagination.
Wanted a photo op out at the Statue of Liberty over Ellis Island is where they wanted to do the photo op, but because of flight pattern, and they were 1,000 or 1,500 feet. Again, he's mad. There's not as mad as he gets at people who eat salt, but he's still mad there. Now, here's Janet Napolitano, or is it Reno? The Janet Reno of this administration. She was on the Today Show today, and the question, how would you explain how the government could have sanctioned a low-flying plane over lower Manhattan, which, of course, still has the memory of 9/11?
My understanding is the FAA sanctioned that, but I share that concern. I don't know how that happened, and we want to get to the bottom of that. Mistakes were made. Mistakes shouldn't be repeated.
Are you embarrassed that the government made this mistake, did not realize the panic this would cause in lower Manhattan?
Well, I don't think it was the right thing to do, and it certainly wasn't intended as such. But again, we're looking into that right now. What exactly happened here?
Nobody knows how it happened. Ran the place. Here's Gibbs. I mean, this is the best one. This is yesterday at the White House. Gibbs doing the press briefing, and he had an exchange here with Chuck Todd of NBC and Bill Plant, CBS. Chuck Todd said, "You guys feel you owe folks in New York City an apology? I mean, the airplane looks like Air Force One, Chuck. 2 fighter jets. There seems to be a lot of panic up there."
I would contact the White House.
The White House military.
Hold on a second. Stop the tape and re-cue it. You are the White House. He's the press secretary at the briefing room in the White House, which is in the West Wing, is telling the press to contact the White House.
I would contact the White House.
The White House military won't tell us anything. They'll refer us to you.
Then let me go discuss with the White House military. I have seen some news reports, but I don't know. I have no information on this other than what I saw.
The way this works, I'm just saying, appearance-wise, it's odd that you guys don't have a response. I mean, this is the president's aircraft, or what looks like.
I understand. I was working on other things. You might be surprised to know I don't know of every movement of Air Force One or what happens to it, but I will certainly talk to the military office.
You certainly as hell know the days you're not going to be on it, and you know the days you are. Boy, I tell you, this is buck passing like I've rarely ever seen it. I mean, folks, this plane doesn't go anywhere. These 2 747s do not go anywhere without Barack Obama knowing about it or being on it, because when they're gone, he can't take one. He cannot use one. He's got to know it's not available. I'm surprised Gibbs didn't say, well, we're looking into this now. We think that right-wing extremists who are returning from the war have taken the airplane up. We'll let you know as soon as we find out. It's really hard to believe Obama here say, we found out about the plane flying up in New York the same time you did. We did. The White House military office director is Luis Caldera. That's the guy's name. He is White House staff. His office is in the White House. And the White House military office is a fairly high-ranking office in the White House staff. He is part of Obama's we. He's the guy that planned it. He's the guy that set it up, but he can't do it on his own. He's got to get clearance from all kinds of people to take that airplane up there. You don't just call Andrews Air Force Base. This is a montage of Robert Gibbs answering reporters' questions.
I don't know how many briefings he ended up getting. I will double-check on that. I'd have to go look at the information. I don't know. I have no information on this. I don't know. I'd go back and check my notes. I've got no information on that. I have not talked to anybody about that. And I will check on it. Let me check. I said 5 minutes ago that I would try to find out. I haven't forgotten. I will certainly check. Again, I will check individually on your question. I will ask while I check on the other question. My ears work fine. I will check on the questions. All right? And I can check. I don't know. I have not seen. I will check. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I got to check with the White House. I got to check on the White House, find out why Air Force One was up there. All right.